Hello lads and ladies. Today I'm gonna show you a really big psychedelic rarity from the America. First, I'm gonna take you on a little trip. If you travel north from New York City, through the beautiful countryside of upstate New York, all the way up to Woodstock and then a little further, you'll arrive at the small village of Windham. From there, you leave the state route and turn on to Mill Street. From Mill Street you turn right to Vining Road. And after a few minutes drive, you come to a very small road with just one or two houses. That tiny road is named after a very classic psychedelic LP from 1968. Welcome to Faine Jade Way. Yes, I finally had the chance to do my Indiana Jones travel scene. When I did the research for this LP, I came across a small road upstate New York that was named after this LP. I'm gonna tell you more about that in a minute. But this is the one we're gonna talk about today. Faine Jade. Introspection, a Faine Jade Recital. An absolutely classic American psych LP from 1968. Released by this guy called Faine Jade. His real name was actually Charles Leskovsky, but on this LP calls himself Faine Jade. And it was released on a small New York label called RSVP that looks like this. So, very nice. Very glad to have a copy of this because it's quite a big rarity. And this LP was released in 1968 and it is a brilliant psych LP. And it's quite strange because this LP sounds more like a British psych LP than an American psych LP. It has a lot of Syd Barrett on it and I can hear some kaleidoscope, and it has this like British whimsical kind of feeling to it that isn't heard on many American psych LPs. And I mean, just look at the back here. He looks like he's the fifth member from Syd Barrett Pink Floyd era. Could have been in that Arnold Lane video where they run around on the beaches with the hats and everything. He claims in interviews that he hadn't heard of Syd Barrett at the time he recorded this. It's a bit strange, but yeah, what do I know? Anyway, this is really cool, and I'm gonna go through all the songs and talk a little bit about the music on this LP. And also I'm gonna talk about that little road that I found. But first, some background. This guy came from Long Island, outside New York. And in the mid-60s he was playing in a couple of bands with his friend Nick Mancy, who played in another classic New York band, Bohemian Vendetta. And Bohemian Vendetta released an album in 1968 on Mainstream label. It's a really cool psychedelic LP. And as a matter of fact, Bohemian Vendetta is the backing band on this LP. So you get Faine Jade backed by Bohemian Vendetta. And on this LP, Bohemian Vendetta is not credited. It says Faine Jade's Candle Power. So Faine Jade's Candle Power is Bohemian Vendetta. So they played here. Yeah, as I said, he started with his friend Nick Mancy and they had a few bands in the mid-60s. Then he released his debut single in 1967. The B-side, It Ain't True, that's an absolutely killer with a totally broken fuzz guitar. Amazing for 1967 with his sound. And after that he got a deal with RSVP label to release this LP. This LP is called Introspection, a Faine Jade Recital, and it's a bit done as a concert or a recital. I mean, it starts with this overture. No, before the overture, it's like an orchestra tuning up their instruments, very much in the beginning of a concert or something. And then we have this overture, and in the end we have the grand finale. So I don't think the songs hasn't anything to do with each other. It's just a thing they did with this concert thing. The song that I played in the beginning after my little Indiana Jones travel scene was a song that was the first track, Dr. Paul's Overture. And that is 100% in Syd Barrett land, classic British whimsical psych. After Dr. Paul's Overture we go into a song called People Games Play. Not games people play, people games play. And that's a total killer track. Very psychedelic, very awesome in every way. It has this like almost hectic jungle beat with a lot of percussions and a frenetic guitar, and there's also a really cool fuzz lead guitar in the background, and his harmony singing like goes in and out of pitch, so a little bit out of tune here and there, which adds a lot of charm to this one. The lyrics here are all about magic lanterns and scarlet scissors and sea of jasmine, and a lot of that psychedelic John Lennon post-pepper psych lyrics, you know, losing the sky with diamonds kind of nonsense psych lyrics, but absolutely fantastic to this music. And here's the sample.
Far above you, voices calling, use your mind with tiny wire. Unfelt strangers walk the tightrope, stars are wheeling, spilling fire. Paper sounds and liquid visions guide you upward on your way. Blood blue bats on secret missions linger by the stars to play.
Yeah, dig that. Next one is called Cold Winter Sun Symphony in D major. Another symphony orchestra reference here. This is a superb, trippy, kind of dreamy psych song with a lot of tape echoes on the vocals and everything you want from a psych song. And also this electric guitar that's like badly out of tune. He couldn't really tune his guitar, I think, but that also adds some kind of lo-fi DIY charm to this that I really, really like. It's a fine line when things are too out of tune and when it's perfectly out of tune. And this is on the edge, but it's really cool.
It seems I have no shadow to confide in.
The next song is called I Lived Tomorrow Yesterday. Again, perfectly psychedelic title. And this one is... this reminds me very much of... especially in the chorus, it reminds me of the UK Kaleidoscope. Like brilliant psych, things are happening all the time, tempo changes, new parts and interesting production.
I live tomorrow, yesterday. I know what's on your mind. I've had a dozen girls like you, and I've left 12
Yeah, the last track on the A side is called Ballad of the Bad Guys, and that one leans more into like garage psych, Reminds me a bit about Love before Forever Changes, like the early stuff. And it even has some like kind of Rocky Erickson kind of screams. And it's a really cool track, especially if you dig, if you want your Psych to be more leaning into the garage scene. That is a killer one. Flipping to the B-side, we have the title track called Introspection. That was also released as a single from this LP. Yeah, they did a single on this one, on the RSVP label. With the B-side Dr. Paul's Overture, the first one I played. And this is more of a psychedelic pop ballad, tambourine-driven, jangly kind of song. Really, really good. And again, he couldn't really tune his guitar. It's on the edge, and it's on the good side of the edge. So he pulls it off.
And turning with the seasons, and turning our sight in, burning with the reasons, burning from within. Introspection, what am I really like inside? Introspection, why have all the prophets lied?
Yeah, then we go into a song called A Brand New Groove. It's another cool Psych track. It has a really nice slow break, with a lot of echoes on it, on the vocals. The next song is called On the Inside There's a Middle. Really more of a slow, trippy psychedelic song with a lot of these like swelling cymbals and echo on the vocals and a very psychedelic organ. And this has this like tempo changes in the chorus, so it's always happening things when you listen to this LP. You never get bored.
You point to each person and the defects, but in yourself all these things exist. You gotta make yourself up.
Then we have a song called Don't Hassle Me. That's again a very Syd Barrett kind of song, solid Psych song. And the last one on the LP is called Grand Finale. And the Grand Finale is basically just a continuation of Don't Hassle Me, but where they go into some kind of freak out with like weird circus organs, and they were like fiddling on the mixer console with the panning and just playing around with the noises and sound effects. So I guess maybe it's not like what I like to listen to, but it's very much of the time, and when they did these kinds of psychedelic freakouts, I don't have a better word for it, but that is the finale. Hello, this is a message from the future. I recorded this Faine Jade video yesterday, but I forgot to read in the Acid Archives book, so this is me reading it tomorrow. Or as Faine Jade said, I lived tomorrow yesterday, but I gotta read this tomorrow yesterday. Or something. Okay, here we go. Faine Jade, Long Island, New York. Introspection 1968. Rarity scale 4. Jade sounds and even looks British. And this well-produced LP from June 1968 with Bohemian Vendetta backing could easily pass for a UK major label pop psych album of the time. It's all very groovy and mod and full of sound effects, trippy arrangements and Eastern flavored lead guitar. The far out album cover prepares you perfectly for what's within. The songwriting, which spans pop, folk rock, minor key ballads and garage rock, is reasonably good, but this strikes me as one of those albums that people love more for how cool it sounds than for the actual content. Oddly, despite the attention paid to the musical arrangements, there's a scarcity of backing vocals. The few there are notably improved their songs. In the album's favor, there are no duds, though some may not be so thrilled about the freaky instrumental at the end. So it's continually enjoyable listen. People Games Play is a high point with a tribal psych feel and above average acid lyrics. Better than most in the genre, but not top of the heap. There's a great non-LP 45 that's been comped many times. Faine made a comeback recording in the 80s. A sampler of unreleased tracks exists. Aaron Milensky. Yeah, and I pretty much agree with his review here. So now back to the future. No, back to yesterday. After this came out, he I don't know what happened, but he didn't do anything more. He later on joined forces with his old pal from Bohemian Vendetta, and they recorded an LP that was called Dust Bowl Clementine, that came out in 71 or 72. That is a more of a folk rock, country rock kind of LP. I haven't heard it that much, but I sampled a few songs on YouTube, and it's not like this at all. It's more traditional songs. But this is what we have from him, and it's a really, really cool LP and highly recommended LP. I'm very glad to have it. Yeah, so how about the road thing that I started with the Indiana Jones intro? When I was researching this, I went to Discogs and I checked out Faine Jade, and he had an address in his Discogs entry, and it was 14 Faine Jade Way. And I was just, that's a bit strange, Faine Jade Way. So I looked it up on Google Maps, and I found this road, upstate New York. And apparently he lives there right now, and it's a very tiny road, so I guess he could name that road. So he named it after his old album. It's not the other way around, that he took the name from the road. I think when he moved there, he just changed the name of that little road to Faine Jade Way. And that's a cool thing. Not every Psych LP from the 60s has a road named after it. So that's really cool. But that was just a thing for me to edit my little Indiana Jones video. So if you know, put down in the comments if he named the road after this LP, or if the road was just named Faine Jade and then he moved there. That seems too far-fetched, too strange. Anyway, that was what I had for today. Faine Jade, Introspection, a Faine Jade Recital. Classic psychedelic LP from 1968. Check it out. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment. Remember to be kind to each other, and peace out.